Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
So here we are with your favorite day, Sunday with Sterling. Any information you want to give out today?
We're going to start off with a little bit of housekeeping because we were announcing last week that you were getting ready to get up to the next, the next 1,000 levels, so to speak, in subscribers. So I think you're 43,100. We were looking today.
Yeah.
So we did select a winner, and the winner is Dan Curtis, and the last name is spelled Curtiss. So all Dan has to do is just contact our offices, info@sterlingpsychicmedium.com, and then they'll take care of setting up the reservation.
Great.
So, congratulations. Yeah.
We got questions, my friend. I hope everybody's in good health. Okay, here we go. From the other side, does Sonny Bono have a message for us?
And this week, what I did was, everybody's been through a lot of stress, and I asked for somebody humorous to come through. So I thought, let's have a little more humorous guest, if you will. So Sonny Bono came rushing through. But what's interesting, the first comment that he made to me, I was going to share with everybody. He kind of said, "quote unquote, man, oh man, people thought I was the dangerous entertainer politician." He said, and they hadn't seen anything till 45.
Oh, wow, that's a good point. I just forgot
So
that
he
was
said, people were worried about me, and that was incredible. He also said, generally he wanted to send love to everybody here, his family, and to Cher. And he also made the humorous comment that he was going to continue to haunt Cher, which he had promised in the past, but he was now going to move from lighting to water. It's kind of interesting. So I know in Cher's Malibu home, there's a particular light that does flicker that she assigns to Sonny. But Sonny told me that he's now going to shift over to kind of manipulating the water. So maybe
wow.
Faucets go on or something. So
wow, that is
the message. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Did he have any comment about the future of the United States of America, or did he just leave it at that?
He felt like a lot of the Republican Party was going to get much better balanced going forward, a much better balance.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Will the Biden administration gain access to the top secret information 45's administration hid, like the whole Ukrainian conversation, amongst other things?
Yes, the FBI already has it. So they've got a lot of dossiers, a lot of information, but they're waiting for the right way to roll it out. So this year, that'll become more apparent. Okay. They already have the information.
Okay. The House is sending over impeachment documents to the Senate on Monday. Will 45 be found guilty of sedition?
Yes, I see a successful conclusion on a successful vote in the Senate for 45 being impeached. I do. So it looks like the appropriate number of Republicans are going to move over and vote with the Democrats on that. Yeah.
And now, do you see, because since they started this, do you see more proof coming out, more stuff?
There's going to be an avalanche.
Okay.
An avalanche of
because proof. The people that are Trumpsters, like Cruz and those guys, they're not going to vote for it.
Right. And what's happened here is there's almost like they call the kink in the armor, or so to speak, or kind of a hole in the dam. And they've now uncovered a couple of key people in the administration that were aligned with the riots, for example. And so now that's going to lead to more and more information, a groundswell of information. So yeah, this year,
ladies and gentlemen,
2021, it'll be just like watching a soap opera. Yeah.
Awesome. Now that it has come out that Army lied about Lieutenant General Charles Flynn, Michael Flynn's brother, being involved in the meeting about deployment of the National Guard troops to the Capitol, will it come out he colluded with his brother to withhold deployment to assist during the Capitol riots?
Yes, and I think that information is already known by key individuals, so the answer is a definitive yes. But what's interesting is that there's more tentacles to that whole discussion. So it's going to be much wider spread than, let's say, the Flynn brothers, right? So it's going to span out into other parts of the government that were complicit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I also saw Michael Flynn having to go to jail.
Yeah, and read on this a couple of times. What's interesting is that he almost feels like he's going to have to double down on his pardon, that for some reason the pardon that he has is not going to cover him for
Not gonna
everything that's
cover
going
him.
on. So there's something going on there where he's actually very concerned. Yeah.
Also, and same thing with Bannon and Stone, all those guys, the pardon is specific. So now
Right.
they're saying state-wise, they can come outside of this and hit them for a bunch of stuff.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it.
Yep.
Will President Biden end the Space Force?
No, he won't end it, but what he will do is I see him putting it under a different branch of government, like putting it under the Air Force. So it may not be standalone per se, but he feels like the resources are better shared by like the Air Force.
Okay.
So he won't end it, but moving under the Air Force. Yeah.
Okay. Will the Dems keep both the Senate and the House in 2022?
Yes, most definitely. Yes.
Oh, yes. What was 45's motivation behind denying Americans COVID planning, supplies, stimulus relief, protective equipment? What do they expect will happen as a result of not doing anything?
So that was a twofold bet by 45. The first was that he was trying to act like nothing was going on, such that the economy could be restarted. All his bets were on the stock market and his wealthy, wealthy contributors, so to speak. So the big bet in public of denying it was to say, look, the economy is going to start up, we're going to be okay. The second was that he felt like the underserved elements of the economy and our population would be harder hit, and he wasn't concerned about that.
I felt that. I got that hit too.
And unfortunately, that's the absolute truth, that there was a bit of white supremacy going on here, and it was a double.
Just like when they lied and said they were going to give certain states PPEs, but they didn't.
Right.
They were hoping, in fact, even Jared Kushner said it out loud. They were hoping that, people of color and people, even the elderly dying wasn't any big deal to them.
Right.
Well, the 10 Republicans representatives who supported impeachment win their re-elections. The 10 Republicans who supported impeachment.
Yeah, that was the vote in the House, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Oh,
I think.
okay, there you go.
House. Yes, and what's interesting though, for some reason, it looks like 9 of them, it's a solid yes. 1 of them is a no.
Okay.
So somebody's hanging on for some reason by a thread. So I'd almost say all 10, but there's telling me like 9 and 1's got some other difficulty. Yeah.
Okay. Will they ever find and expose whoever started the QAnon conspiracy? That's Russian.
Yes, and there are some very wealthy 45 loyalists that actually started that rumor, and then had a groundswell through social media. So they actually know who it is. They already have the names, and the names are actually already in the public. So it won't be any surprise who started it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you see any sealed pocket pardons that we haven't already heard of, like the 45 family? Will we find out about them then? Or will we find out about them someday?
Yeah. So I do. Interestingly enough, there are what I'll call pocket pardons or secret pardons. But what 45 did was work with his legal team on what I call trigger events. So there are pardons that will take place if there's a future trigger event. And interesting enough, I feel like some of that was in the letter that was left behind to Biden by 45.
Wow.
So just kind of laying out what the procedure is. He didn't walk out completely unprotected per se, but his attorney, I don't think it's not gonna work actually, but they did set up trigger events to try to enact the pardons.
Yeah, and I really feel the Supreme Court hearing it and saying, no, you can't pardon yourself or your family.
Yeah, it's a very creative way to try to sneak pardons in there, but it's not going to work. So
Okay.
I guess he gets an attaboy for a good try. So
After someone passes and their ego has fallen away, do they realize how they've hurt others?
yes, that's all part of a life review. So when you pass on, you're down here to learn lessons. So actually, it's not only the lessons you learn, but the lessons other people learn through you. Let's say if you had that ego. So it's all part of a life review, and it does fall away. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to feel everything. We
Mhm.
go through a lot of things.
Right.
Do we always have the same guardian angel?
And I think that maybe there's two answers for that. On Earth, you have what I call birth angels. They do stay with you for life. When you cross over, there could be some reconfiguration of your birth angels. That is, when you come down, reincarnate the next time. That's all part of the soul contract.
Okay.
The angels, guides, yeah.
How would spirit like us to view the purpose of the pandemic from their point of view? What higher view of it should we embrace?
This has a lot to do with the unification of the world population behind a very critical threat. So this is about unifying the world population. It's all about understanding the human condition and suffering, how to help, how to move forward with love. So it is a bit of a reset for the world, but it has to do with kind of unifying the world population, understanding love, empathy, and moving ahead. So yeah.
How do we
Also,
balance? Oh, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say also, as you know, it was forecast by Nostradamus. So, it's not an accident that it happened.
Yeah, someone just told me that he prophesied that.
He did.
He also prophesied a huge earthquake in California in November.
Well,
I just heard that, but he prophesies a lot of things that we weren't feeling this year, we were feeling next year.
right, right.
How do we balance spiritual needs with material needs?
So, spirituality has a lot to do with your life path, your life purpose. Material needs, a lot of times they're a means to an end. So what I mean by that is that, let's say if you're supposed to help a lot of people, you may need a building to do it in or a car to get that location. So material needs help you fulfill like your spirituality. Someone might say, by the way, I should throw this in there. I'm getting, but let's say Jesus walked the earth with just a pair of sandals and a robe and that was it. Well, okay, you could do that, but it's hard to get from Los Angeles to New York if you're going to walk just in sandals. So,
Right.
so
But I will tell you this, in my experience, it's really weird. If you connect to that power, so to speak, and you're in that plane, you're coming out of your ego, you're being the observer of the thinker, they provide. Things will just start happening. They'll just make it happen for you. Suddenly someone calls you like me, all of a sudden somebody says, hey, I've got this person that's going to help you write your book, or I've got this,
Right.
you can get this. It's really weird. As long as you get out of that human obsessing and worrying stuff, it's hard to do.
By the way, that's getting into the flow of life, the whole flow. So, right.
Will there be a cure for male pattern baldness?
Yes, within 15 years, there'll be a cure. Yeah. And it will be an internal cure, not an external cure. So I mean by that, it'll be a manipulation of the body from an internal perspective rather than something you put topically on the outside. That makes sense?
Okay.
So it's not like a solution or a shampoo. It'll be something medically from the inside. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My poor father was a big redhead, huge head of hair. He started losing his hair at 17.
Wow.
The Q people are now saying something is going to happen in March. Do you see anything?
Not in terms of a major event. There's a lot of ongoing smaller events that we're going to see through the first and second quarter here. So I think that question infers there's some major event around politics. I think is that the inference of that question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that's a negative one like we saw with the Capitol riots, but there's going to be a lot of smaller, a lot of chaos.
Yeah. I heard something on Twitter, I think. Someone had posted from Parler, what a QAnon. And here's the latest. Apparently, the military has arrested Biden and Kamala. They're in prison as we speak. And they put in a fake Biden and Kamala but it's actually Trump that's running the United States of America.
That kind of reminds me of that, again, here's a movie reference, but that John Travolta film, was that called Face Off?
Yeah.
Where they swap faces or something. Yeah.
Right. Okay, is there, will the GOP try to block most legislation proposed by Democrats to undermine 46?
I mean, the good news is, by and large, the answer is no. They won't block a lot of it, but the key reason will be that there's going to be economic effects and benefits the GOP won't take credit. They won't take credit for. So as it moves forward in the stimulus packages for business and individuals, and the way it helps the economy and vaccine rollout, they're not going to stand behind a lot of that. So
Okay.
they'll get in line. Yeah.
Is there a karmic reward for helping a stuck spirit to pass to the other side?
No, there's not a karmic reward, but it's part of it's still part of a life path. So it's part of things you're fulfilling, but you don't necessarily get a trophy on the other
Right.
side. Yeah. So it's all part of your path.
Unfortunately, over there, like true giving is giving, and you don't say anything about it. It's
Right.
giving. And that's what over there, if you start thinking, do I get brownie rewards? It doesn't really work that way.
Exactly.
Is there okay. Last week, Sterling said it would be something that would happen in 46 second term. Will 46 have a second term?
Yes, I do believe there's going to be a second Biden term. Absolutely. And congratulations to the people that caught that. That did get slipped in last week's show, and a number of people caught that. So
Okay.
he will. And I do see Kamala having a presidential run as well. So there's
Yeah.
some sort of a tie-in there around in the second term of Biden, whether Kamala is like the third term or she starts out doing part of the second term because there's something else going on. But there's definitely a second Biden term in there.
He's going to get this thing running like a well-oiled machine.
Mhm.
And I just see people are doing so much better, they don't want him to go.
Exactly.
Last week, Sterling said it. Oh, wait, I just read that. Will the president be able to unite the nation and restore the trust in government?
The answer is yes, by and large. There's still going to be a good portion of individuals that will still believe the fantasy that that the election was stolen. There are certain individuals that won't change that opinion. So that's going to be somewhat of a minority. So the good news is a lot of people are going to get a reality check. Some people will feel that they got lied to on their way to their reality check.
Okay.
All the things that were promised by QAnon and whatnot didn't come to pass. And so now they're taking a step back saying, wait a second. So.
Oh, well, I know the guys that rushed the Capitol are already mad at Trump because he didn't give them a blanket pardon.
Right.
And also Trump's likability is now at 26%. And Biden is what, 55, 56?
At least.
He just started. Yeah. He's only been in a week. And by the way, he's not out golfing.
Right.
My family members are afraid for me to use the tarot or pendulums. They think I could open up myself to evil spirits. What is the truth?
So a couple of, that's a layered answer. First off, whenever you're using pendulums or tarot cards or whatnot, that's your guides working through you. So it comes from the universe. Now, the other layer to that discussion is that I think you and I have talked before, there are prankster spirits on the other side that would waste your time. Same kind of spirits that will come through a Ouija board. So it never hurts, as they say, an important safety check, just to, do a quick protective prayer. So protective prayers are good for,
And they know if you're afraid. So if you go in frightened, those are the ones that, like, even in a haunted house, will get hit by something. If people walk around afraid, then they create what they're thinking. So
they do. And I always tell people, just like there's prankster spirits on earth, individuals that like to play pranks on people and get enjoyment out of it, there are those spirits on the other side. So they will waste your time and scare you in a spooky house or whatever. Yeah. So.
Right. Will the corporate donors of the coup have accountability? I know my pillow guy's losing all kinds of money, because he's like, you.
Yeah. Can you repeat that question? I think I missed a word or two there.
Will the corporate donors of the coup, the big event?
Yeah. Absolutely. The FBI already has their name, so they've already followed the money trail. So, that's where, some of these criminals, you hear the term stupid criminal. Some of these money trails are very easy to follow. So.
Right. Hormone imbalances are the root of many problems such as weight gain, infertility, and depression in women. Will there ever be a treatment for this and this that doesn't come with equally negative side effects?
Right. There will, and that is like a 15 to 20-year horizon. But the reason a lot of these advances are, I've talked about this before, there is a big breakthrough in about 10, 15 years here in gene splicing therapy, gene splicing. So once they unlock that code, it's almost like the way they understood DNA years ago. But once they understand how to unlock the code in gene splicing, then it's just a matter of, like, it's a menu list. Here's all the things we want to correct in the human condition.
Right,
So
right. Because I could feel before, the monthly bill, I could feel that energy of like I was going to crash or be very, I was one of those people that reacted. Oh, she must be.
Sure.
And I wish I didn't have that because it interfered with a lot of things.
Right, absolutely.
However, when I had, not to get personal, but when I had a total hysterectomy, when I was 50, I never got any it was all gone. I never went through the change either. I never had any flashes, none of that. All of it was gone.
No hot flashes, but the psychic flashes.
Oh, the psychic flashes, yeah.
I'm
yeah, it's not weird. I just
everything those.
dissipated. Yeah. It was gone. Boy, am I grateful for that. Because they wouldn't let me take any substitute. I couldn't take any pills because I have a heart problem too. Heart disease runs in the family. So they're like, you know what? We can't give you any estrogen or anything like that because of heart problems. So I was a little nervous, but I ended up being okay.
You were protected.
So are you taking notes or?
Exactly. When I had my hysterectomy.
Okay. Okay. Why are UFOs seen near volcanoes? That's interesting.
So it's not all volcanoes on Earth, but there are a significant number of them that, just by the way that they're created, they provide pathways deep into the Earth. So there's like an entrance created by many volcanoes on Earth that UFOs use for underground access and bases.
Wow.
By the way,
do they actually go in the volcano or they're just around it?
They go in the volcano. Yeah.
Whoa.
And by the way, I'm just being told that it's not just on land, but also in the ocean. So some volcanic structures in the ocean that open up large gaps.
I've seen actual photograph. We're starting, a lot of stuff is getting released from the government of UFOs diving into the ocean.
Oh, there are many pictures about that. Yeah, there's lots of them.
A lot of Navy guys have seen it.
Sure.
Okay, what does the future hold for Fox News hosts like Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, and Laura Ingraham? And may I just make a quick note before you say anything? Losing money bigly. They just laid off a whole bunch of people, reporters and everything.
Right. What I get on all that is that as a whole, because of the financial impacts over at Fox, they're being asked to be more moderate. What's going to happen is they're actually going to end up leaving. So they won't take the bait, so to speak. We've got to be more moderate. They're going to leave for another news outlet, which we yet to be seen. So
is that the one that Trump's involved with?
It will be.
Okay. Yeah. What can you tell us about the Federalist Society and its role in grooming conservative judges?
Yeah, this is a group that goes back decades, but they have been influential in a lot of judges and even the Supreme Court. So they have created influence and kind of an approach to a lot of legal matters. So they've been influential. I think that's the question. Have they been influential? And they have, yeah.
Okay.
Over many decades, I get.
Do aliens compose or listen to music, and does their music differ from ours?
They do listen to music. So the human hearing is, not to get too technical, but like 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. But aliens hear much beyond the human hearing spectrum. So a lot of the music that they use sounds much different than what we're used to, but they do listen to music.
Okay. We probably can't hear it. They're like dogs. They can hear certain.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Right. Can you read on Alexei Navalny, who is now in the worst prison in Moscow? How is he doing? And fortunately, the Russian people are coming out in droves. I love
Yeah. That's the Russian leader, obviously, that, we read on him, by the way, months ago, where it looked like it was near death. And you and I talked about it, and I said there's a lot of angels with him, and they're really pulling for him.
Right, because he's the one. It's like Biden started to change. I could see his energy. He was starting to be light.
Right.
And this guy is light. So he is willing to sacrifice his own life for the sake of Russia. If they kill him, or if he dies in prison because they didn't take care of him, it's over for Putin.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just to answer that question, I think the question was all about what I see happening for him as I see them moving him into more of like a house arrest condition. He's in a terrible prison right now, but because of all the pressure from the population of Russia and all the people protesting, he gets more like on house arrest. And he does have a pathway that protects him. So
yes,
now the cat's out of the bag. The Russian government can't just sweep it under the rug saying, oh,
no,
he got hit by a bus. We don't know what happened.
Oh, what a shame. He ate something bad. But this is the beginning of the end of Putin. He's already been going down. But listen, they are already making decisions. Putin is probably in seclusion because they want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I think it's also the beginning of Russia moving to be more moderate to some extent. So, the world's population is moving more moderate.
He is a huge factor. He's the thing that happened when I could see Putin running 2 years ago. I said, mark my words, in about 2 years, something's going to happen and Putin will be running from the people. He's literally running. And so this, do you think Alexa could ever be a president of Moscow?
What I get on that, and I've read on this before, is that for some reason the government already has their candidate pre-selected. They're going to push into the position. So
is he just like Putin?
He's similar in that the way he came up through the ranks is similar, but for me, he's somehow he's more reasonable on a world stage. So
he's not killing anybody that runs against him.
Right. I just see that the government already has their candidate ready to go, ready to push him in there. So,
but somebody else is going to run too. That's what I just heard. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I think this guy is the beginning, but I feel somebody with a beautiful soul that's going to come in and change the whole thing. That's my feeling.
It will be. And I think the next leader in Russia won't last as long as Putin did. So it'll be a much shorter run.
That's probably the guy you're seeing. And then what happens is they have another,
they will
vote, because they were voting. People haven't really voted for Putin.
They will.
Just like with Trump. I won. They were cheating. That's Putin. Okay. Will 46 be successful with a vaccine rollout? 46. Can you believe it? Sterling, we're done with this. We're done with this. We're done with that. Oh my God.
Yeah, he will. He will. And he's going to have support from at least 4 major vaccine manufacturers. They're going to be pumping out vaccine when they get up to speed into hundreds of millions of doses. So it will be successful. The world will get the vaccines they need. Yeah, absolutely. I also see him successful implementing the Defense Production Act across a number of different areas. So whether it's syringes or it's the materials you need to make the vaccine. So he's going to implement in a much larger scale and scope than 45 did. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is a good question. Why do we develop addiction?
Addictions are masking some other life lesson that's ongoing. So it has to do with, it's almost a Band-Aid solution to a situation that's not being either acknowledged or dealt with. Now, sometimes, addictions can come out of, let's say, pain. We get that with opioids, but the other types of addictions that are just trying to mask problems that aren't being reckoned with and dealt with. So addictions have, in a broader sense, it's a wake-up call from the universe to say, look, there's something here we need to deal with.
It's so interesting because I don't know, you read frequently like me, I read so many deceased people on the other side who actually died from their addiction,
Hmm.
alcoholics and stuff like that.
Sure.
And it's actually they let me know it was an actual disease. It was stuck. I think we're born with that. I don't know why I could never be addicted to anything but food, but I still had my addiction. I could never smoke. I could never really drink. I never had to have anything.
Yeah, I mean, my guides are telling me in many cases, individuals are trying to mask or minimize pain from something that's on the life path,
Yes,
right?
yes. How
So that's
about family too? Does that sometimes go
sure,
with it?
sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, my kid's father is a alcoholic chain smoker, but it's interesting. My boys were
Hmm.
so disturbed by that. Do you know they have never even tasted alcohol in their life? Jake is 27, Jeff is 25. They won't, they don't. In fact, I would enjoy a cocktail every once in a while, and I can't, they would give me a look. So to keep them safe, so they didn't worry about me, I had to watch myself.
Sure. There's some good mock cocktails out there, right? So you don't have to put the
Oh
alcohol
yeah, I
in it,
know. My
but
sister and I, when we were both pregnant at the same time, you could get the fake beer and
and one margarita mix. There's margarita mix. You don't have
yeah,
to put the
yeah.
alcohol in
There,
it.
it's just as tasty, and I got just as high, by the way.
Sure. Yeah.
All in the mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see anything coming up next week? Ooh, good. Wait, February 8th is the thing. Okay, next week.
I do. As a matter of fact, it's in the media, but I still see it moving forward. Is Nancy moving over the documents to the Senate, right? So I think that's either Monday
That's Monday. Yeah.
or Monday that's going to happen. We already know there's a 2-week delay in the trial that everybody agreed to, so that's going to happen.
Well, that's because Biden made it. Biden made a comment that he would like
Exactly.
to see his staff first, so they were going to work on that.
Exactly. I see much more aggressive COVID-19 rollout starting this week. So there's going to be a ramp up from the manufacturers of, bringing some new capacity online. I see that.
Fantastic.
I do see a rollout of 45's legal team. I think we'll start hearing from them as to how they're going to try to position, that
Right.
case in the Senate. I do see that. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a busy week. Busy week.
I honestly think Trump and Russia own some of these people. That's why, including Lindsey Graham, I feel that they have something on them because
Oh, they
an
absolutely
inside
do.
word
Yeah.
came that Trump said if any of the Republicans voted for him to be impeached, they would pay dearly. Well, what makes him think he has all that power?
Right. Yeah. We know that to be the case. So, a lot of the Russian oligarchs weren't around a lot of the administration for no reason. So,
Exactly. Exactly. And then Trump, even when he was first president, he let those oligarchs come in and he said, yeah, I just fired Comey. Best thing I ever did. And then proceeded to give them intel from the UK. They were all so mad.
right,
Hey,
right.
can I ask you a last question?
Sure.
Out there in the world, are people sighing relief that Biden is no longer, that Trump is no longer president?
They are. And I've talked to people worldwide as you do as well, right? And
Mhm.
everybody is breathing a sigh of relief because even with all the problems they have over in the UK with their leadership,
Right,
there was a crazy element and a dangerous element that existed with 45. So
right.
the world's a little bit safer place. Yeah.
You know what,
Mhm.
Sterling, I still laugh when I think of Trump on, talking to the reporters that Queen Elizabeth said he was the best president guest she's ever had.
Okay. All right. Well,
And I'm sure they've asked her, she won't answer because she's that way. She's not going to say, no, he's lying. But
right,
anyway, the
right.
best one, the best one.
Well, I think there was a lot of those kinds of comments, like he had the biggest brain of anybody, and he was this. Remember that? So
And that listen, he's a billionaire, but he can't show you his tax records. He's what is he? The smartest, but you can't get his SAT scores, and you're not allowed to know his grades. And I think it's true that his father had to pay for his education.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, my friend, thank you so much.
And one last note from the guides, right? So we try to
Yeah.
always
Oh,
dovetail
I
some
didn't
stuff
say it
to them.
already. Oh,
Yeah, because they were tapping me on the shoulder saying, "Hey."
What they say? What they say?
What they just came up with, they're just saying that it's important for everybody to share their spiritual gifts at whatever level they have, because they're beneficial to everybody, and kind of even the darkest souls need a little bit of enlightenment. So share your spiritual gifts, no matter where you are on the path, and always inject a little humor in there, because humor is
There you
always
go.
helpful. Just
There you
like
go.
Sonny Bono was saying in the beginning of the show. So
Right.
yeah.
You know, can I tell you that I read a lot of people with gifts, so do you, right? That are kind of under, and everybody has that feeling of, Linda, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something. Some people have the gift of touch, you know, some people are psychic. And
Right.
I'm telling you, this is opening up. This will be the way of the world, you know. I hope in my lifetime, but
No,
probably
it
for
will
sure
be. We're
your
gonna,
lifetime.
over the next 3 decades is when my guys are saying a lot of the earth is going to heal. So we're going to see a lot of the benefits of all the light workers down here over the next 3 decades.
Right. But I'm not a teacher. You're a teacher. You know how to tell people to do that. I don't know how to teach. I'm either that or I'm just too impatient to teach, but I'm not a teacher. So people like you are especially needed, you know, to help people understand what the hell's going on.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
And if anybody needs to reach me, it's just sterlingpsychicmedium.com.
Right. And we'll have it on the bottom. And we want to give a shout out to Linda and Dan.
Absolutely.
They picked the questions, and you guys are you guys are my family too.
We're all
I
family.
feel like I know you, like it's just like breathing. I know one day you'll say, Linda, I don't want to do Sundays anymore. I'm so tired of you. But right now I'm having a ball.
That'll never happen.
Oh, thank you. All right. Oh, you heard it from him, you guys. Okay. Ciao,
All right.
everybody.